Hello dear viewers. Thank you for choosing this video and taking the time to watch me. Every year on February 14th, it's Valentine's Day. Why? Doesn't the day just mean pointless stress for men? What should I give her? Will she like it? Didn't I already give her that last year? Will she think I'm unimaginative if I give her the same thing every year? Why the same old problems every year? Who was Valentine anyway? What did he look like? And why is February 14th named after him? And why is it the Day of Lovers? How long has Valentine's Day even existed? And who started it? As you can see, dear viewers, there are a lot of questions, and I'll try to answer them now. By the way, my dress has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. I actually bought it for Carnival. The damn Baroque dress is tight and uncomfortable, but the designer thinks it's sexy and said it would also be suitable for Valentine's Day. Probably because I'm practically naked on top. To better understand all of this, it's important to know what personal status law was like in the Roman Empire in the 3rd century. Roman society was divided into 3 classes: nobles, also called patricians, free citizens, called plebeians, and slaves. Slavery only ended with the dissolution of the Roman Empire. For nobles and citizens, the laws of patria potestas and paterfamilias applied. This meant that the husband had absolute power over his wife, his children, and all his property. He alone could decide which of his children married whom. The father also chose the spouses for his children without the children having any say or right to object. The father and husband, as head of the family, also had authority over his married sons, their wives, and their children. He also had the right to abandon newborn children if he did not want them, children with disabilities, children born out of wedlock, or children born for financial reasons. Marriage was only permitted within one's own social class. So, nobles only married nobles, and commoners only commoners. Slaves, of course, were excluded. Thus, strategic and financial considerations were paramount in choosing a marriage partner for one's children. If the marriage didn't live up to expectations, it could be dissolved. Again, without the consent of the children involved. The father, as head of the family, also decided on the divorce. Whether or not a child could marry depended on their physical condition. Once a girl had her first period, she was considered marriageable. I can still remember my first period, which frightened me. I thought I was sick. I was 11 and a half at the time. So, in Rome, girls were marriageable at 12 and boys at 14. This is why child marriage still exists in some Arab countries today, because these countries were once part of the Roman Empire, and this tradition has persisted there to this day. However, in Rome there was still the contradiction that soldiers were only allowed to marry after leaving military service. Soldiers were only eligible to be citizens. This law was repealed by Emperor Septimius Severus even before Valentine's lifetime. When a girl married, she automatically lost her father's power and came under the control of her husband, who could also dispose of her property. This was known as a Manus marriage. However, this practice had already been abolished by Valentine's time. Even after marriage, the girl remained under her father's power. She could then decide to separate from her husband and reclaim her property. This was only possible, however, if she had not committed adultery. There was also the possibility of a marriage without a formal wedding ceremony. The future husband, whom the daughter had chosen herself, could buy his future wife from her father in front of 5 witnesses. If the husband mistreated his wife, she could annul the marriage. This form of marriage was called coemzio. Another option was cohabitation, which today is called common law marriage. After a year, this automatically became marriage and could be dissolved by the woman if she did not sleep in her husband's house for 3 consecutive nights. This type of marriage was called cohabitatio or usus. Both of the aforementioned forms of marriage, of course, required that the man and woman belonged to the same social class. The man could divorce his wife if she had been unfaithful or was infertile. Of course, people from different social classes could also live together, but they could not marry. This was called concubinage. So, in ancient Rome, marriage only existed between people of the same social class, and it wasn't always based on love. One could not marry someone from a different social class. Valentine was Bishop of Terni in Umbria. If you don't know where Terni is, we have a Google map for you. Terni is right in the center of the image, and this is what it looks like there. The image is from the Terni city administration. Published online on Vivi Terni. However, Being a bishop was illegal, because Christians were still persecuted in the Roman Empire at that time for not adhering to the government's laws. Valentine didn't either, and as a priest in Rome, he married lovers who, according to Roman law, were not allowed to marry because they did not belong to the same social class. Valentine gave flowers from his garden to the couple he had just illegally married. Now you know why people give each other flowers on Valentine's Day. Emperor Claudius felt his political authority was so severely undermined by Valentine and the Christians that he sentenced Valentine to death. This was also intended to deter imitators. To ensure that as many people as possible could witness Valentine's execution, Emperor Claudius carefully chose the time and place. The timing coincided with the fertility festival, Lupercalia, which took place annually in Rome between February 13th and 15th. Emperor Claudius chose February 14th. The name of the festival contains the word lupus, meaning wolf. Translated, the festival meant wolf defense, and involved animal sacrifices that were subsequently prepared and eaten. After the meal, naked priests in animal skins ran through the streets of Rome, whipping women to increase their fertility. It was great fun for the Roman populace, much like Carnival. The festival was meant to commemorate the founding of Rome. That's why Emperor Claudius chose February 14th as the day of the execution, that he selected the Campo de' Fiori, the Square of Flowers, as the location. The square still exists today. In the center of the square stands a monument to the priest and philosopher Giordano Bruno, who was burned at the stake there on February 17, 1600. 3 questions remain unanswered. Since when has Valentine's Day, February 14th, been celebrated as a holiday for lovers? After all, he was executed for illegal marriages since 469. And who introduced it? It was Pope Gelasius I who first canonized him on the 200th anniversary of his death and proclaimed this day as a day for lovers, on which people should give each other flowers. What did Valentine actually look like? This question was also posed by Cesare Morius, a 3D designer born in 1982 in the Brazilian state of Santa Catarina, who specializes in reconstructing faces using computers and skull fragments. Valentine's skull is located in the Church of Santa Maria in Cosmedin in Rome, as you can see in this image. And this is what the church, built in the 6th century and located in the Ripa district, looks like from the outside. This is the result of Cesare Morius's computer-generated facial reconstruction from 2017. This is what Valentine might have looked like, based on his skull fragments. Based on this model, we have also tried to present you, dear viewers, with a glimpse of Valentine as he was younger and as he was older. However, Valentine's age at the time of his execution is unknown, and his birth date can no longer be determined. But Valentine's Day wouldn't be Valentine's Day without roses. Why do we give roses? And why is the rose considered the flower of love? Is that true? No. In other cultures, the rose is also considered a flower of death, used in cemeteries. Perhaps both interpretations are true because in ancient times, the Romans and Greeks dedicated the rose to the gods Aphrodite, Eros, and Dionysus. That is, to fertility, or rebirth. Is that why a rose is thrown onto the coffin at a funeral? Valentine's Day is in February, and we don't have any roses in our garden then. Roses for Valentine's Day are flown in from Kenya, Ethiopia, and Ecuador, and their cultivation requires a lot of water, which is already scarce in those countries. Furthermore, the roses are preserved with harmful pesticides, and the flight consumes unnecessary fuel. So, gentlemen, should you now refrain from giving your wife or girlfriend roses for Valentine's Day? I think that would cause trouble. Or perhaps you could come up with something else. I'm taking this damn dress off now. It's pinching everywhere. This is so uncomfortable, but before I do, I'd like to say goodbye and thank you for watching. I wish you a cozy Valentine's Day and see you soon, your Chiara Endrazzi.